welcome to the MVP show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Lithuania. He works at Michelin as a Power Platform developer. He was first awarded as MVP in 2024. As an early adopter and advocate of the Power Platform, he played a pivotal role in introducing and integrating these technologies within various projects and initiatives. You can find full links to his bio, social media, etc. in the show notes for this episode. Welcome to the show, Mantas.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Good to have you on the show. Are you still based in Lithuania?
Yep. I'm currently sitting in Vilnius, so it's quite early for me.
Wow. That's crazy. Tell me a bit about food, family, and fun. What do they mean for you?
It's actually one of the most important things, right? Because me and my family, my girlfriend, we actually like food a lot. Like, for example, fine dining. And it's an interesting topic, especially this week, because we just got finally our first Michelin reviews and recommendations here within Lithuania. It took a while, but yeah, finally we got some recommendations for Michelin stars, etc. So I really like food and the family, spending time together, especially in the summer. It's grilling season all around.
Yeah. So just refresh my geography. Where is Lithuania?
Yeah, so we are one of the Baltic states. Our closest and biggest neighbor, and I would say the biggest friend, is Poland, because we have a lot of history together. We've been even the combined country once. And from the Baltic states, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, we are the biggest one. We have biggest population and biggest in the square meters. We have a lot of space because for comparison, we are bigger than Netherlands, but we have way less people. So you can find a lot of nature. If somebody loves nature and you will be visiting Europe, I highly recommend it. Because there is, especially if you're from the bigger cities, bigger countries, and you're tired of seeing people around and you just want to be on your own, and it's easy to rent a cabin in front of lake without anyone around you.
Nice. Back on the restaurant, the Michelin star, etc. What's your number one favorite restaurant that you've ever been to?
I would say probably it's. I don't say that I don't like Lithuanian food, but just we have this potato-based dishes a lot. So we modern cuisines now is experimenting with it. And I like how we do and incorporate things, but it's maybe always you like to try out something from other cultures. So, for example, I personally really like Indian food. I don't remember exact names, but a couple of Indian restaurants, and I will give first place to one Spain Michelin restaurant. I think it was 2-star Michelin restaurant in Ronda. So it was just whole experience was, especially those foods which opens up different flavors when you put something in your mouth and you do not understand what exactly happening. Different foods. Also, I think in general those dinners are more experience, less actual eating. You can eat nice food at home. Your mother, father, grandpa can make you a really nice food. But when you go to the restaurants, it's more for experience, less for actual food.
Nice. You're so right. I went to a restaurant in Moscow, and it was a guy that was bringing back the traditions pre communism, the traditions of food, because communism, of course, dulled everything down to a standardized what you had to eat. And one of the things I ate there was moose lips. And it's like exactly what you said, moose lips, like, what am I eating? Like, but the flavors and what he brought to life, this, I think it was White Rabbit was the name of the restaurant. It was just amazing. So I get what you mean by food. How did you get into the Power Platform?
It's actually I would be most helpful to my vet manager when I worked in the company, just because he was really open-minded, and I'm really glad to have the opportunity to work with that kind of people, because it was times when at least here in Lithuania the clients were still migrating to the cloud, Microsoft 365, and we had these discussions like you see those old IT guys who are judging all the cloud thingy. Microsoft will store our data. I'm not sure if I can do it. And we were also delivering some document management systems based on SharePoint. And also on SharePoint Online. SharePoint on-premise was more popular, and I was doing configuration because I never actually liked too much web programming. I have a degree in computers, but still it was like, my mouth shut and just started thinking, okay, I need to pass this, and that's it. I always hate this, not seeing the actual result and troubleshooting every code offline. And I was configuring those SharePoint solutions. And then Microsoft introduced the Power Apps and Power Automate as a extension of the Dynamics. And my colleague just started working with Power BI. And I said, and he also was just learning. And I came to my manager and said, look, Microsoft introduced something which I think could be beneficial. Instead of buying custom solution and configuring for the clients, we could try to build something on our own. And he said, yeah, go for it. If you can build simple vacation process on it, I will try to sell it. And this is how the journey basically started. I think Shane Young already was around, so he was probably one of the first guys and MVPs whose video I started watching. Yeah, it was tough times because it's always tough when you're alone. You're just scrolling through the forums. It's impossible to Google something because the platform is totally new. You're inventing. You're always doubting yourself if you did everything according to the best practice, but best practice kind of do not exist until so it was interesting journey when one colleague joined to my team. Then I became kind of a lead because I knew something, he didn't know anything, and roller coaster started rolling basically.
That is so cool. Now, in Lithuania, what data center do you use from Microsoft for Lithuanian-based projects?
To be honest, I'm not sure, because when I joined Mako, I basically 5 years ago I switched international. So I'm trying to keep up with the Lithuanian colleagues, especially when I'm running the Power Platform community here within Lithuania. And I ask what we do, how is the projects going. But our clients is now based basically in Netherlands and Germany. And also international clients for sure, if we have opcos in different countries.
So tell us a bit about Mako. What's their core business? I noticed that they're across the Netherlands, Germany, and Lithuania, and obviously have international customers. But tell us a bit about the business, because I see other MVPs work there as well, right?
True. Good colleagues, also from Power Platform and from Data. So we basically in the beginning, when I came to Mako, the Power Platform, if I just orientate to the Power Platform business, it was felt a little bit like migrations to the cloud. What is this Power Platform? How we do it? And we already had a couple big clients like Heineken, who were kind of mature on it, and we was together in flow with Microsoft Story to build the citizen developers community within the company. So it was nice to see that there is actual big companies who are trusting the platform and letting them build. Then after maybe 3 years working on always smaller projects, so almost every time the standard project was in Power Platform, but we had a team already. It was like, I think 7 people in the beginning after 3 or 4 years within Lithuania, I mean, and it was like 10 plus after 3 years. But it's still, you have a colleagues, but in the project you're alone because you cannot work together on the same project. You cannot edit the same apps, same Power Automates, etc. So it felt like you're part of a team, but kind of still alone working on the project. But it changed, and the bigger projects came, and multiple developers started joining, and I think the whole platform shift, and I think Mako also could be part of it because we had those business critical projects when the company trust and build something really critical on the platform itself.
Mm-hmm. How much has the community played in the success of your career? Either the community you developed in Lithuania, the global community, or even the community inside Mako. How much does community play a part in where you are in your career?
I think this was one of the biggest points why I actually switched to Mako from a smaller company, because it's always nice, even when you are not working on the project with someone, to have those like brainstorming discussion sessions before, we just sit like with one colleague. We come to the office. Also really helps, and you sometimes just sit, drink coffee, like you're discussing about like a game which you played or food which you ate, but same as we discuss about projects. I have a project and I have an idea to do this and this. What do you think? So I think it's like really important role from that perspective. Either is within Mako colleagues and at the coffee machine when you have a discussions, or within Lithuanian community when somebody comes with totally different project, because we work in like for example, one guy came and he said, I'm actual analyst of a basketball team, one of the best Lithuanian basketball team, and I'm building power apps for them to track statistics. And you just, wow, they're also using power apps. Okay, that's really cool, man. And you try to help him and discussing all the possibilities, what you can do. So I think it's fun, and I really like that in Lithuania and in global, the community in general is growing within the Power Platform, and people understand that we're kind of competitors, but we can also still share the information. We shouldn't look that way, because I help you, you help me. You cannot know everything. It's impossible to know every edge case and everything.
Yeah, so true. How did you end up becoming an MVP? What was that process for you? How did you get nominated? Who nominated you? How did you find out about the MVP program? Like, what were all those things around becoming an MVP for you?
First time probably I heard this word was when I joined Mako. First, it meant a minimal valuable product. Then I realized that there is a double meaning. Also, the MVP, most valuable player in computer games. So I knew it from there. But so my colleague Valeras, he was running he was an ambassador within Lithuania to pushing people to become an MVP. And just like basically encouraging, there is a program, you can do something. Okay, he introduced, and I thought maybe it would be interesting. Then I spoke with Rebecca, our colleague, and then I realized, okay, it's a lot of personal time also involved. I need to think about it, and I was doubting, and doing something, not doing, like helping to run community, but not actually participating in conferences. And I'm not even sure what was the final breakpoint, but probably one colleague from Mako, also from Lithuania, she suggested that maybe you want to do a session together, like a double power session, because she's from Power BI, I'm from Power Apps. Let's do some integrated project or something, and let's showcase it. Maybe let's do podcast discussions. And I thought, okay, I think it would be more fun to do it not alone. The roller coaster started rolling, and then I figured out, okay, I need to now focus on this to actually gather as much as possible contributions. And lucky of me, Microsoft as a Microsoft in Lithuania is not so big, so I knew some people from Microsoft Lithuania. So I said, maybe because you see I'm doing here within your office some stuff, maybe also together with other community people here, maybe you could recommend it. What do you think? Is it enough? And we had a discussion, and they basically nominated me here within Microsoft Lithuania.
That's awesome. Are you the first BizApps MVP in Lithuania?
Yeah.
Wow. Is there any other MVPs in other tech areas in Lithuania?
Yep. It was always a couple of people, like from the security, I think, and from Azure person. And after I got nominated, after a month, we got extra two, one for M365 and one also for BizApps.
Awesome. Now, when you do your community stuff in Lithuania, is that, I take it that's not in English, right? You do it native language?
It's always a debate because everybody speaks English, but when it's your not native language, you doesn't matter how, unless you actually lived in the English-speaking country, you still have this a barrier where you cannot properly communicate from the thoughts and maybe discuss. You're a bit afraid because there's still people. So we're trying to do mix and match. That means that if a speaker comes, we will be inviting, by the way, for summer online meeting, for example. So we try to do sometimes on-site, sometimes online. And if a person joins who speaks English and gives presentation in English, that's totally fine. So it's because it's a maybe it's a geopolitical situation, which we can be thankful, but a lot of Belarusians also now are, and especially from the technology area, some big IT companies also moved here to Vilnius, to Lithuania. So we in the office, for example, we also speak English a lot of the time, because we have one Belarusian guy, one guy from Macedonia, and from Germany too. So we have nice women, so it's quite common to have a 14-year marrying a Lithuanian woman and move here.
Interesting. Well, it's been so good talking to you. Last question I have for you is, what project have you been involved in that you're most proud of?
Probably being involved, it's not even related to the job. It was like my colleague, like from previous company, called and said, yeah, maybe you could help. I'm not sure if there will be even money involved for the government to build a Power App for a demo, to demonstrate, help Microsoft to build a Power App to demonstrate that online voting is possible, like voting for government institutions. Because Corona started, we was not able to work together. And I said, yeah, let's go. And we actually had like hell of a weekend to build a prototype and to show to actual government institutions that it's possible. So in the end, the parliament was not using it. They just tested. but that's fine. Not always it should be a great success, but some local authorities actually were using it, and some of them it's even using nowadays. The app which I was involved to build, and it was really interesting to do it in Power Apps.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.